Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, I had a look at the Chamber of Arms, the new game mode in JP, and although it's not a bad mode, and the JP community seems to generally like it, it is not what I want according to what I recently laid out in my PvE I Want to See video, so I'm announcing I'm quitting the game. Not right away, however. There are a few more videos I want to make, including a clear of the Chamber of Arms first, and then a review of the equipment, like the Genji Glove and the Blood Sword. I also want to make a video talking about early JP user impressions of the Dream upgrade, and specifically what kind of effect or influence it is having on the different modes of PvP. I also want to make a list of maybe recommended Dream upgrade units. Some characters get very upgraded with the change, some not so much. I also want to do a live blog of the live stream, which is coming this Saturday, and then do a video summing up what is in there. They will talk about customer complaints about the Dream upgrade. I don't expect that they will really change anything, but they'll talk about it at least. But maybe more interestingly, they will go over the results of the latest user survey, which I also did. I'm going to link to all of this stuff down below. And then I want to make a video with a proper goodbye, including some final messages about healthy mindsets in mobile games. That's always been a focus of my channel. And in the background, I am playing another auto battle run through this new game mode, Chamber of Arms, this time with a mono-element fire team. I'm still gearing up for a manual battle playthrough, and I did this as a trial run, just to look at stuff like the turn limit, my damage output, that kind of thing. I did say in a community post that there looks like that since it is a damage race, ultimately, there is no place for healers or tanks, specifically because of the turn limit, but I have now seen some clear parties that use one, maybe two of each, so depending on your damage output, they could be usable. Still, the mode is not what I want, so I am still quitting. And then in putting together this fire team, I was filled with great sadness. But like, we can just think about like the memories and the history of all of these characters. Like Christmas Mashidi, I still think, one of the more underrated characters in the game. I did a lot of great things with her, including in getting top 25 in Arena multiple times. And then Classy Glassy, the fan vote Classy Glassy, the circumstances surrounding her release and then speculating about that was really interesting. Yuffie, she was a character that I was waiting for a very long time, and she's a lot of fun to use with her corny lines that she says in battle. And then Setia, you know, her hype and her dominance in JP, and then how she was just dismissed in Global. Just that gap was mind-boggling to witness. And then, of course, Tina, a character that I love from my favorite Final Fantasy. But I'm sad because these characters are cool and fun to use, and I have lots of strong vision cards, and the battle system is good, but there's just no content outside of PvP where it can really shine. Now, I have said many times in my videos that it is important to pick the fights that we can win, to not be the old man yelling at a cloud. And it might seem like me demanding they create content in the way that I like, as going against my own advice. But hear me out, I think my argument is worthwhile. The main reason I can say this is because of the direct lineage of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. They share a world, they share characters, they share developers for Pete's sake. Basically, what I want are the deep, complex boss fights of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, but on an isometric tactics-style battleground. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect. Saying, you know, Chamber of Arms in War of the Visions makes us think about Chamber of Arms in Brave Exvius. But when I heard that there were wave battles, and then like different stuff that we should keep in mind for the different waves, I thought of story bonus stages in Brave Exvius, where you fight 3 consecutive boss fights, but must build one team to go through all of them. Those were really fun and quite challenging, and those came around the 2-year mark when the game was really humming, and game balance was good, and lots of different units and teams were viable. And looking at my videos from that time, which I'll also link to below, I was reminded that I was also dissatisfied with that game system. I hated the reliance and prevalence of chaining, which required, 2 different characters. It was a weird technical game mechanic put on top of an old-school active time battle system. But at that time, it was still possible to work around it, and that was fun to figure that out. With the addition of Gilgamesh Kai and Asura, however, I felt the game really clamped down on alternative strategies and team builds, and that's part of why I left the game. Some people might be thinking that I should just go back to Brave Exvius if I miss it so much, but what I miss is that certain time period of the game, which is now gone. So, War of the Visions doesn't have anything like story bonus stages, or boss trials, or the true Chamber of Arms. PvE sucks in this game, and I think it comes down to 2 possibilities for why, and it could certainly be both. One, it could be the developers are unable to create interesting scenarios, either because they just don't have the design chops, or, with an isometric tactical system, interesting gameplay is simply not possible. Or 2, it could be because the developers don't or can't care, because PvP is the moneymaker for the game. Let's talk about the lack of design chops. I feel like this can't be possible because of the reasons I laid out already. The lineage is there. I personally have 0 design chops, and yet it's pretty easy for me to imagine how epic, complex, deep Final Fantasy Brave Exvius style boss fights could be transferred directly over to War of the Visions. Like, let's reimagine the Bahamut 2-star fight from Brave Exvius in War of the Visions. But like, let's say we're on a map and we're looking at Bahamut, and first thing Bahamut does is leave the battlefield. It flies up into the sky and then gives us like a turn or 2 in order to move or, build up defenses, and then a big AoE attack comes down. And like, we can take those earlier turns either to take the attack or move out of the AoE area. And then when Bahamut comes back to the battlefield, then we can damage it, and then that is repeated over and over. That would take advantage of the map, Maybe there is a safe place, but it can only be reached by characters with like a jump of 3 or more. Or we can use buffers or tanks in order to take the attack. Build up element resistance or magic resistance or something. That kind of boss battle seems really doable by the developers and fun for us players, right? They should be possible. So second, let's talk about the sustainability of the model. I have a sneaking suspicion that in development for the game, it was meant to ride on PvE, and PvP was just meant as a side project, kind of a shot in the dark. But guild battles were way more popular than the developers were expecting, so they shifted their model, and then therefore the design of the characters and the design of the game overall more towards PvP and away from PvE. I think this because guild battles, if anyone remembers, were initially meant to be a once-in-a-while thing, like limited class matches, but they pretty quickly became an always-on game mode. I was shocked at this change. I think a lot of other JP users were shocked as well. That game mode became more hardcore, and so the game overall did as well. I still really admire War of the Visions for not having very fast power creep and also maintaining good game balance. I talk about Golden Time a lot, but like, every element has a top tier PvP team. And I think within the world of PvP here, it's very dynamic, it's always shifting back and forth, but PvE has really stagnated because I feel like all of the mind space or all of the resources are going towards PvP instead. Alright, so that'll do it for this video. I still have a few videos left for War of the Visions. Thank you for coming with me on this journey. I'll see you on Saturday for the live stream. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.